do see Mr. Orozco with a reaction button. Mr. Orozco, what do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 5, 6, and 7 on your criminal docket. That's the state of Texas versus Eduardo Ramirez Fernandez, starting with CR 2102-500, 501, and CR 2108-153, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Is Mr. Eduardo Fernandez present?
Yes, Your Honor, he should be.
Present.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Fernandez.
Good morning.
Your announcement, Mr. Orozco.
Yes, Your Honor, my client's out on bond. I don't believe that's been any issues. There is a felony that's still pending an intake. We just checked this morning and it has not been assigned a cause number, Your Honor.
All right. So let me go ahead and give you some more additional time. Can I give you April 7th?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, April
Yes.
7th at 9:30, Mr. Fernandez. We'll see you on April 7th at 9:30. Stay in contact with Mr. Orozco.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
May I be excused?
Your excuse. Thank you.
Stay safe, Judge. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
For you.
All right. Anyone else with an announcement ready to have their case heard? Mr. Flores?
Your Honor, I'm looking for my client. I don't see him on there, but Jose Angel Garcia.
All right. Is Mr. Garcia present? If you're on mute, please unmute yourself. Mr. Jose Angel Garcia. This is a status conference carried over from 2-1. Was this a,
That's correct, Your Honor. I was emailing with him. He wanted to reschedule because he had a doctor's appointment. He's still testing positive, says he, and stuff like that. I said, well, look, you missed it last time. You got to be there. It's on Zoom. You can get it on from anywhere. I just don't see him on there.
all right. Would you like to give him some additional time? Maybe call him, maybe try to reach out to him?
I can only do it by email. All his phones are off, and if he's got one, I have not been able to get him to provide me the number.
Let me see if the system has a number for him. Give me 1 second while we look.
Judge, just for your edification, he's never returned for the patch removal.
Yeah, I know that that's been one of the issues that we had last time. We were here on the 1st, and I asked that that we try to make contact with him and try to bring him in. Do we have a phone number? No.
I have this one, Judge.
We're gonna put the phone number, Mr. Flores, on the chat. We do have a phone number, a home phone number that's on the system.
Okay, Your Honor, I'll stay on. I don't have a problem with that at all.
All right.
I'll send him an email again.
Well, there's a number on the chat that we just provided. If you look at the chat, there's a number for him there. I don't know if you have access, if you can do that. And the only reason why I don't want to tell you the number is because we're on a live YouTube.
Yes, I see it, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, give it a try. I mean, obviously we need to, this is the second appearance and there was a continuance granted last time. So
I
if he
understand,
doesn't
Your
show
Honor,
up,
completely.
we'll go ahead and do what we do, but otherwise we'll give him some time to get here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Aguirre, what do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 10 on the court. I'm sorry, number 29 through 30 on the court docket. Matthew Miller. I did see him logged in. Matthew T. Miller.
All right, that's CR 20-00069H and CR 20-00070H. Matthew Thomas Miller. Your announcement, Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. This is a case we were. I think we were looking at one of the specialty courts. I believe it was the DWI court, or at least my predecessor was. Mr. Miller was, he lives in San Antonio. He was starting a new job and everything else. I should be getting with him this coming week to get all the paperwork, everything filled out.
Okay. Let me go ahead and give you April 7th at 9:30. April 7th, 2022 at 9:30. Mr. Miller, stay in contact with Mr. Aguirre. We'll see you on April 7th at 9:30, okay?
Will do. I appreciate you guys. You
Alright,
two have a good one.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, Your Honor. I have number 32 through 34 on the court docket, Austin Noel Rodriguez. And I see him logged in, Austin R.
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Just that my camera's broken.
All right. This is a drug court removal, right? He was removed from drug court,
That's correct, Your Honor.
and we just
Sir, I have a thing about the drug court.
Okay,
The when the public defender called me yesterday, I was telling them that I was waiting for the email and for the calls, and they're telling me that they were calling me, and I was like, no, I haven't gotten any calls from over there. And usually when they call me, it's either from the I have it saved. It says the courthouse when they call me, and they tell me when I have the program, and also I get the emails also from the program. But when I was checking it yesterday, the last email that I got was on the 24th of the drug program, and then from there, I never got the other emails after that, and they're telling me that I wasn't attending to any of the stuff. And I told them the last time that I went to we went to the program and there at the court, I had told the counselor, because y'all told me I haven't gone to the counseling or anything like that, but I told him that when I was there in the court, I told the counselor if he could give me if he could send me the link through through message, and he told me yes he will, but he never sent it to me that day. And then also when I talked to Miss Victoria, I told her that I had gotten COVID, and she had told me, all right, and within 2 or 3 weeks, send me the COVID test. And I was like, all right. And from there, that was my mistake. I didn't call her from there, and I had gotten out out of quarantine just last week. And then from there, that's when I got in the car and everything. I was explaining to the public defender, and then from there, the screening for some other some other drug courses, if I'm not mistaken, they sent me through Zoom, and I was there waiting for like an hour or two. Like they told me at 10 o'clock, and I have proof right here through my Zoom also that I was waiting. I went through at 10 o'clock. They never called me. I never got up in the screen. I was telling them I was like, yes, I have like an hour or two waiting there, and they never called me in or they never processed the screening. And I have proof right here on my Zoom that I logged in through the whole thing. And the last one was when we went to the court, or which was the third week of January or the second week, if I'm not mistaken. And I was real confused because I was just waiting for all that, and they're telling me that they're getting in contact with me and everything, but I have everybody's phone number saved, even with Mr. Parkton, the last lawyer that had but he never even contacted me neither. So when he had told me all that I was gonna get out of the program, I was really confused because there's no communication with me after I told Miss Victoria about the COVID. You know, I know I was supposed to call her and that was my mistake. I owned to that. And then even with the drug course through Zoom, I never got one. The last one that I got was on the 24th, and I get my emails on time, so I don't get how what's it called like why like I get it why I'm being kicked out. He explained to me why, but at the same time, I mean, you know, I had the patch on me with me this whole time. It's really dissolved already and everything, but I still have it with me. And I told that yeah, I was explaining to all that, and I was just confused because I mean, like
okay,
on my
let's do
part,
this. Let's, Austin, let's do this. Let's hang tight. Let me go through the rest of my docket, and then we will staff this at the end of docket when we can, you know, maybe meet in a breakout room. I need to meet with the rest of the team, and we'll need to see what we're gonna do. Okay, so just don't hang up, hang tight. I'll be right with you. Okay.
all right, sir.
All right. Anything else, Alex?
Yes, Your Honor. Same thing on number 35 through 37, Luis Alberto Rodriguez Jr.
All right, I do have Luis also on. Hang tight on that one as well. We'll be with you, and we'll staff these at the end of docket, okay?
Judge, if I believe the court has my cell phone number. I need to log into one of the district courts in another court briefly.
Okay.
Can I log out and log back in?
Sure.
I'll make sure the court has my number. Whenever you're ready, they can text me, Judge.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rivera, what do you have?
Hi, good morning, Your Honor. Ismael Rivera here on behalf of Mr. Alfredo Alvarado. It's number 2 on the court's criminal docket, State of Texas versus Alfredo Alvarado, CR 21-08852-H. And on this one, I did speak to Mr. Heller. They did issue out a recommendation on the case. I do have to talk to Mr. Alvarado regarding the case and the recommendation. We might come into a little bit of a bump with respect to the offer. And so we are respectfully requesting a continuance on this case, Judge, so I have some time to discuss it with my client.
All right, on this one, I know we gave a verbal admonishment back on January the 11th. Since then, well, we gave a verbal admonishment on January the 11th. Victoria, can you, I know we have a report from December 30th through January 31st. Are we overlapping any violations here?
Just positive BAC violations on the report, Judge. I showed there was some starting on the 19th of January. the 19th, the 21st, and the 29th.
Okay, so that was obviously after the verbal admonishment, correct?
Correct.
And I'm showing 7 BAC violations
Yes, correct.
after having been given an admonishment,
After the admonishment, it was 4.
or after the admonishment.
Mhm.
Were you aware of that, Mr. Rivera?
No, Judge, and I have spoken to Mr. Alvarado with respect to the alcohol. I would like at least to staff this and find out some information regarding that because he works out in Corpus, out in the Corpus area. And so he comes down to my office to do the Zoom. He's actually on Zoom with the same name as I do. It's on his screen. I do have to talk to him about that because to my understanding, those issues were supposed to be taken care of. I'm just afraid that maybe his line of work, I don't know. I'd have to talk to him, Judge.
Let me put you in a breakout room right now. What,
All right, thank you, Judge.
Alfredo Alvarado, what screen name are you? I don't see an
Ismael
Alfredo
Rivera,
Alvarado.
Judge.
Ismael Rivera?
Yeah, it's under there as well.
Oh, yes, I see. Okay, I'm gonna put both Ismael Riveras in a breakout room, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Let me go Ismael and Ismael. Come right back when you're done.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Reyna, what do you have?
Hey, good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Unmute me. Judge, I have number 13 to 17 on your docket, Aaron Guerrero. However, I've been informed that there's a pending felony. So I think the last time we were here, he had trouble getting on, but I believe he's on now.
I do see him there. This is number 13 through number 17, Aaron Guerrero. There's a NISI that needs to be recalled. Mr. Guerrero, the court's going to go ahead and recall that NISI at the state's expense. I do that one time and one time only in recalling that judgment NISI, so I don't have a problem doing it here today for you. That means that there will be no fee to you, no cost to you. However, if you fail to appear at another court date and I take out another warrant, then you will have to pay to have that NISI recalled. Do you understand that, Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
No problem. Mr. Reyna, can you give me an idea as to how much time you need in terms of a reset date so I can give Mr. Guerrero that date in open court?
Judge, maybe the end of March or early April, Your Honor. I've not got no control over what the grand jury does.
Okay, let me go ahead and give you April 7th, if that's okay.
All right, Judge.
April 7th, Mr. Guerrero. Stay in contact with Mr. Reyna, but the next time that you and I will see each other is on April 7th at 9:30, unless you hear otherwise from Mr. Reyna, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Your
Judge.
Honor.
All right, thank you, guys.
Are we dismissed?
You are dismissed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Zamora, what do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I have 19, 20, and 21 on the court's docket.
All right, 19, 20, and 21. This is State of Texas versus Rosa Isabel Lopez.
Correct, Judge.
No violations reported for her bond modification. Is she present, Mr.?
She is, Judge. She's right.
Oh, okay, perfect. She's in your office. Okay, great. Thank you. Your announcement, Mr. Zamora.
Judge, we just need a little.
I lost him. Mr. Zamora, I think I lost you. Okay. While I wait for Mr. Zamora to log back on, I see Ms. Holmes present. Ms. Holmes, can you hear me, and are you ready to make an announcement?
Judge, I have Mr. Reynaldo Hernandez. I don't know if he's on the screen.
Hernandez. Give me 1 second while I locate his number on the
It
document.
was number 18.
All right, Reynaldo Hernandez. Is Mr. Reynaldo Hernandez present?
Yes, he
See
is.
him there, yes. CR 22-00487H, State of Texas versus Reynaldo Hernandez. I have a note here, placed on AIP, lives in Brownsville, AIP cannot conduct field visits. Defendant informed AIP he cannot afford to obtain a mobile device for a second DWI. Ms. Holmes, have you had any communication with Mr. Hernandez with respect to that?
Judge, he tells me that he was getting paid today and he was going to try to get the mobile device. Other than that, he is living in Cameron County. He, I believe, is living with his grandmother. And I don't know that they ever checked whether this was the second DWI or not. We didn't know it at the time that you gave him the bond.
Okay. Do we have any information on that, Yuri? Is this, I mean, it shows up as a second. I'm assuming it's a second.
It is a second, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Holmes, what I'd like to do is I'd like to reset it for a week. I'd like to reset it for February the 15th, giving him an additional week to get that mobile device. If he's not going to be on AIP, at least I need the mobile device.
Okay, so reset for February 15th
Yes,
for a
ma'am.
status to see if he's
Yes.
gotten that mobile device.
Exactly. All right, Mr. Hernandez, did you
Yes, sir.
did you understand what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to give you some additional time. I know that your attorney said that you might get paid tomorrow, but I don't want to set this up on Thursday. I think that may be too soon. But if I give you till next Tuesday, I think that's more than enough time. Okay.
Sí, sir.
Don't go out on Valentine's Day and spend money on chocolate,
No.
things like
No,
that.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the 15th. If I expect, what I expect Ms. Holmes to do is to say, live in Cameron County, we're not going to put a mobile, we can't do AIP, so I'm going to need a mobile device. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So make sure that you have that mobile device installed by next Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And stay
I
in
will.
contact with Ms. Holmes. You
And
ever-
Judge, he can remain in Brownsville?
He can remain in Brownsville. I'm not gonna, that's where I think that we're gonna, the compromise is gonna be, he can stay in Brownsville, but he needs a mobile device.
Yes, Your Honor. That's all we have.
All right, perfect. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
Are we excused?
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right. Juan, I lost you for a little while. I know we were taking your announcement. I think you're connecting again. Juan, can you hear me? You're on mute. Okay, let me move over to Mr. Espinosa.
Good morning, Your Honor, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
I have 38 through 41 on your docket. That's Pablo Rodriguez.
State of Texas versus Pablo Rodriguez, CR 2104-832H, CR 2009-356H, CR 2009-355H, CR 2104-833H. State of Texas versus Pablo Rodriguez. I have a note here, was ASI completed? Victoria, do we have any information on the ASI?
Yes, Judge, he completed it on February 3rd and he does qualify for drug court.
Qualifies for drug court. All right, is he, Pablo Rodriguez is present? Mr. Espinosa, your announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, I guess I'll need to get with the state in order to finalize the drug court paperwork so we can get them signed up.
Okay. Okay, so obviously this is something that happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
In terms of the paperwork getting submitted to the DA's office for consideration. Ms. Lozano, how much time do you think you all would need to consider a paperwork, assuming you all receive it, right?
For a PTD judge,
For drug court placement?
it should be after, if he's observed and been approved, then 2 weeks should be enough, Judge.
Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and give you February 22nd at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
February 22nd at 2 p.m. for PTD placement, for a drug court placement. Okay, Mr. Espinosa?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, perfect. Mr. Rodriguez, stay in contact with your attorney. Your case is getting reset for February 22nd at 2 o'clock for drug court placement, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're excused. You too.
Also, Your Honor, number 42, I'll be standing in for Mr. Reyes.
Okay, that's a CR 2104-843H, Gustavo Vargas Solis.
He still has a felony pending, Your Honor.
Let me go ahead and reset this one for April the 7th, 2022 at 9:30. Again, that's April 7th, 2022 at 9:30 in the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Mr. Rivera? You are back.
I did have, yes, I did speak to Mr. Alvarado. Is there a way I can talk to Ms. Rodriguez briefly, or if this has to wait to the end of the docket?
You know what? Right now is probably a good time. I need to take a break here in a couple of minutes to go and appear before Commissioners Court to give an invocation at the beginning of their Commissioners Court process. I can put you in a breakout room with Ms. Rodriguez and definitely give you that time. I do want to take care of a couple more announcements real quick. I got about another 2-3 minutes tops, and then I'm going to go do that invocation and be right back. It won't take me very long. So then while I do that, I'll put you in a breakout room with Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Juan, real quick, before I take off, I'll go ahead and hear your announcement.
We just need a little bit more time, Your Honor.
Okay. No violations. How much time are you looking for? 45 days?
Judge, if we can get 30 days.
Okay.
How
about I give you, let me see. How about March the 22nd? A little over.
Perfect, Your Honor.
March 22nd, 2022 at 9:30 in the morning, okay?
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rep, can I take care of you real quick before I leave?
Just, Judge, on one of them, it was just an announcement, and the other one I can wait, Judge, until you get back, because we're gonna have to put some a little bit of testimony on. But it was just on number 22, Judge. It was just for a reset. It's for harassment charge. First, it's set for status.
So number 22, Jose Luis Mares. And
yes, Your Honor.
Mares present?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, he's there. Okay, and you just needed some additional time for Mr. Mares.
Yes, sir.
Can I give you that March 22nd date?
Yes, Judge, that'll work. And the other one I have on, Judge, I'll wait for the court to come back. I'll just be on. I'm gonna mute my audio and video.
Great. Let me make a quick appearance over in Commissioner's Court. It won't take me, but I would imagine 5 to 10 minutes. Hopefully everything is running as scheduled over there, and I will be right back. All right, Mr. Rivera, let me put you in a breakout room with Ms. Rodriguez. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez and Mr. Rivera, I've opened up room 2 for you two. All right. If everybody is still available, I am back. Thank you for your patience. I was able to give that invocation before Commissioners Court, and now we are back. I do have one matter that I think can be taken care of relatively quickly, and that is for Walter Marquez. I do see Walter Marquez present. My understanding is that in CR 20-02-351H, Walter Eli Ramirez Marquez has completed all conditions of his PTD program. Based on that, does the state have an announcement?
Yes, Judge, based on the successful completion of the program, we'll be attending dismissal.
At the request of District Attorney's Office, the case against Walter Marquez is hereby dismissed. Good luck to you, Mr. Marquez. Your case is dismissed. You are excused. All right, Mr. Reyes, you have number 11 and number 12.
Yes, good morning, Judge. Samuel Reyes for Alejandro Gonzalez, Your Honor. This is the status.
CR 2107-515H and CR 2107-514H, State of Texas versus Alejandro Gonzalez.
Your Honor, respectfully, we need a little more time in this case. This is one where I was trying to get my client on PTD, but there was over $1,000 worth of citations that he owed. We've come back a few times on this one, Judge, trying to allow him some time in order to come up with the funds to pay those fees so we could get this program. However, today he's told me that he still has not come up with it at this time. He still says that he can come up with it, but I told him I don't know how patient the court is going to be, but he's or the state of Texas was going to offer the program, but at this time he still doesn't have those funds. He's still requesting additional time to be able to pay those funds if the court and the state will allow it.
I have no problem. I just want to make sure he's online. Is he on? Is he present with us? Alejandro Gonzalez? On the Moto G?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Mr. Heller, do you have any objection as to giving him additional time to come up with some funds for the program?
No, Judge.
All right. I don't have any problems. Mr. Gonzalez, I understand the nature of our current situation that we're living through, and I don't have a problem giving you some time. However, this is not a calendar that goes into perpetuity. Okay, this is something that I might be willing to give you 2 months to come up with those funds. Okay.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and give you.
This be the last continuance, though. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It had.
Let me give you to April 7th. Okay, April 7th, and that'll be the last time. Okay.
All right, Judge.
You just need to make this a priority, Mr. Gonzalez, but I trust that you and Mr. Reyes will stay in contact with each other, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate Mr. Heller and Your Honor. Thank you for that.
April 7th, 9:30, okay?
Thank you all. You'll be safe.
You too.
Likewise.
Right. Mr. Rivera, did you have an opportunity to visit with Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, I did, Judge. I did speak to Ms. Rodriguez and I had an opportunity to talk to my client. I came down to figure out what happened. We're still requesting a continuance. I would like an opportunity to talk to Mr. Heller regarding this case and regarding the violations and the impact it might have on the recommendation that he gave to my client.
Let me see. This is Alfredo Alvarado, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Okay, so we've got a verbal admonishment that we gave. We got more BAC violations, 4 after the last admonishment. How much time are you requesting, Mr. Rivera? I mean, I typically, what I've
2
done,
weeks, Judge.
I was going to say, what I've done in the past is I've given you a 1-week reset, but any objection to giving a 2-week reset? My concern is this, Mr. Rivera, you know what the court's concern is, right? We've got a DWI, we've got violations, we gave verbal admonishments, we still continue to have violations, and public safety is my concern.
Judge, I'm going to ask you either revoke his bond or put him on scram or something. I mean, 7 violations and 7 non-tests, that's 14.
Correct.
We're not opposed to scram before we can resolve this issue. I think we can resolve this issue with Mr. Heller within a week. But
here's what I'll do. I don't want to go through scram and the expense to help your client, Mr. Rivera. That's also a. I mean, I have to balance, the interest of the community and the interest of your client, and everything that comes with it. Obviously, I'm going to grant you a continuance for a week. I think that resetting this to next Tuesday, giving you an opportunity to visit with Mr. Heller. I don't think that that's Mr. Heller's available. Ms. Lozano's here and she's available, to try to resolve this and within a week, I think is reasonable. And if we come back a week from now and we see where we're at, and I won't take any other action. I'm just going to defer any action until next Tuesday.
And Judge, just for the court's
That's fine.
edification, we did notify them that may be PTD eligible. However, no application has been filed this time.
Yeah, that's the problem that we have, Judge. And I did talk to Mr. Heller and told him we're going to come across a problem, an issue that it's a little bit of a private matter, but I'll talk to Mr. Heller and Ms. Lozano if I have to, with respect to that issue that we might come across on the PTD.
You know what? Let me do this. Let me put you in a breakout room with Ms. Lozano right now. She's here. This is a perfect time to try to resolve these issues. I'm still going to give you the 15th. If after you visit with her, you want to come back and give me a report, I have no problem. Ms. Lozano can come back and give me a report. For now, I'll give you the 15th, which is next Tuesday at 9:30. But let me put you in a breakout room with her, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, invitation's been sent. Okay, do I have anyone else ready to make an announcement? Mr. Flores, has your client, let me just go back to your client real quick. Jose Angel Garcia. Don't know if Mr. Jose Angel Garcia has logged on.
I have not seen him, Your Honor. I called that number that I was provided by chat, and the people there don't know him, are not aware of him. So that's an old number. All the numbers I have don't work. Well, one works, but it says it's not taking calls.
Okay.
And so I'm at a loss to tell the court anything beyond that.
No, I understand. Since we've already carried this over, he hasn't appeared. He hasn't been complying with the drug patch removal and collection. What says the state?
Judge, state request judgment nice be granted. KPS issued and bonds forfeited to the state of Texas.
Judgment nice, I'll be granted. KPS issue bond forfeited to the state for the arrest of Jose Angel Garcia. Mr. Flores, if you make contact with him, if he makes contact with you, or if he ultimately ends up in orange, we'll let you know and we'll try to work it out at that point.
Very well, Your Honor. That's all I have. May I be excused, sir?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Huerta, what case do you have been to have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for CR 20-01075- I'm sorry, CR 21-04869-H. Andrew Benitez is the defendant's name. Terry Palacios is the attorney for the defendant.
Oh, I think that's an afternoon jail docket is what I'm being told. Yes, number 1 through number 4 in the 2 o'clock docket.
And Judge, he, Mr. Arredondo, he came in, he was asking for a reset for him because he has a felony set for tomorrow.
Okay.
For a result on an ASI screening. So he said that one's going to get a reset as well. So he was given the March 3rd setting.
Okay, March the 3rd at 2 o'clock?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so March 3rd at 2 o'clock, Ms. Huerta. And that is for his 4 cases that he's got before the court this afternoon, but we'll go ahead and accommodate the reset since that way you won't have to log back on.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
I have no further business before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. CR 2011-239H, Brígido Gilberto Alvarado. He also has CR 2011-240H. This is a 6-month PTD status, pending completion of drug education course and payment of court costs and probation fees. Is this a case where we're looking at giving him some additional time, Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, Judge, that is correct. He did inform me that he completed the drug education course and is just waiting to get his certificate. And then other than that, he's pending payment of his fees.
Mr. Alvarado, how long would it take for you to come up with the payment of the fees, assuming that you in fact did complete the drug education course? How much time do you think? it would be?
Yes, sir. I'm going today to go pick it up for the certificate, and on Thursday, I can pay off the fees.
If I set you up for next Tuesday, do you think you'd have them paid by next Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do that. Let me go ahead and reset your case for the 15th of February, okay? February 15th, 2022 at 9:30, February 15th, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. We'll let Mr. Shagani know that your case is reset for February 15th. If you take care of all those loose ends on your end, it should just be an announcement next Tuesday, okay?
Okay, sir.
Perfect, thank you.
You have a good day.
You too. Okay, Representative Munoz, let's handle your case. I know that we reset one of them and then we carried over another one. Can you give me, is it Brandon Reyes, the one that we need to speak about?
Yes, Judge, it was 31 on the docket, sir, for this morning, Judge.
All right, that's CR 20-00207H, State of Texas versus Brandon Reyes. Motion for early termination of community supervision carried over from February the 3rd.
Yes, sir. Just by way of background, Your Honor, previously we had filed the termination because he had been put on probation for DWI and a POM. When we were in court, I want to say November or the early part of December of last year, Judge, the court went ahead and terminated his probation for the possession of marijuana. At that time, we had asked just for the modification on the DWI probation, just because we understand the limitations that are placed by statute in terms of the termination. But we did just advise the court that they would consider the modification, one, on the device, and two, being that the length of probation would still be a little bit over a year, since he was going to be moving out of state, if the court would consider that in making those changes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the court had advised us that if he continued to have the device and went through December days, et cetera, and there were no violations, the court would consider it. So we came before the court on that matter, which is what we have before you today.
Okay, I do remember specifically that sounds very, very familiar to something I would say. Let's see what happens to the holidays and then we'll reassess.
Yes, sir.
So I guess we're here today, Rep, on reassessing the situation to see how he's doing or how he did during the holidays, correct?
Yes, Judge, and yes, sir.
Okay, and I guess Victoria, you'd be the best one to kind of give me that information.
Yes, Judge, I was looking at his reports from Intoxilock and he has no violations.
No violation. Perfect. Okay. And so Mr. or Representative Munoz, what is it that you're requesting at this time, since he will be leaving the county?
Judge, we were just going to ask the court if they would respectfully ask that that condition of the judgment be modified or removed, and of course, once he shows proof of employment, and also if the probation can get transferred, I guess, which would be the length of that would be remaining just on this one.
Okay. So no violations. He is moving and going to another state or another county?
No, just he's going to be moving out of the state.
Okay. And so obviously that involves some interstate compact, Victoria, right? I mean, my understanding is that he'd have to ask for permission from that state to allow him to enter their state, or is that only with a felony and not a misdemeanor? How does that work?
That's correct, Judge. He would need to apply for the transfer and then be accepted.
Okay. And is that something he's willing to do, Representative?
Yes, Judge, and I'll work with the office, the probation office, or the court officer to make that transition and do whatever is necessary for him to I guess get his gainful employment and continue on with what he needs to do.
I guess at this point, the only thing that you're requesting is that I modify the device to remove it as a condition of his probation.
Yes, Your Honor, and I can work with the officer to make sure that we have the employment information, et cetera. And then the second thing would be for me to work with him to transfer it, et cetera, once he gets situated out of state.
Now, I'm just taking a wild stab in the dark here, but I'm guessing that the state position is that they're opposed to any modification of the device at this time.
Yes, Judge, we are opposed to any modification of the device. We are not opposed to him reporting by mail. If he wants to move out, if he gets accepted or to a transfer.
Okay, I think I'm glad you brought that up because I think that that's actually two things. There's the report by mail, but my understanding is if he reports by mail, Victoria, he can report by mail for 3 months and then has to report in person 1 month. Is that correct? Is that the way that typically works?
I mean, he can do the remainder of the term by mail, Judge. His case expires in October. So it's
Okay,
actually less than a year.
so let me ask you this question. Would he still have to ask for permission to enter another state if he's reporting by mail?
We would if he's not going to be coming back to the county at all.
Okay. Well, listen, I will allow Representative Munoz, you can visit with probation and figure out what's best for your client and what he wishes to do. I have no problem allowing him to report by mail. He has had no violations. Obviously, the agreement that I had with him and with you was that we would get through the holidays, identify whether there have been any violations. Obviously, Christmas and New Year's is the most concern of the time of most concern to the court. He clearly had no violations. And so although the state is voicing an objection, the court will still go ahead and grant your request to have that device removed or modified as a condition. So if I need to work on an order, yeah, Victoria, if you can maybe do a modification, removing the device as a condition of his probation, I have no problem granting that request. In terms of him leaving the state, well, I guess we'll have to also modify and waive condition number 7. If it hasn't already been waived, we can waive that now. And if he is going to be allowed, if you choose to report by mail, Mr. Reyes, then I have no problem granting you that request, and that can be done administratively. If you're going to ask that it be transferred to another state, then obviously there's the whole interstate compact that has to go through and the process that has to go through. But I'll let Representative Munoz, Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Reyes figure that out. And I'll follow your lead.
Yes, Judge, I'll go ahead and work with him to do that, Your Honor. That's all we have on this case, Judge.
Okay, sounds good. Then Victoria, if you can work on that modification, I'll sign off and approve it, okay?
Your Honor, may Mr. Reyes and myself be excused?
We're both excused, thank you. Okay, Mr. Rivera and Ms. Lozano, I know that I just put you all just to kind of facilitate a meeting, but I'm not expecting, miracles to have happened, but did a miracle happen?
Yes, Judge, we should have a plea for next week's. I will be sending over paperwork to Mr. Rivera. I believe your pleas are in the afternoon, so we could get an afternoon setting.
Sure. Can I do the 15th at 2 o'clock as opposed to 9:30?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. So then we're just going to change the 9:30 on the 15th to 2 p.m. And a plea. Perfect. All right.
Thank you, Judge. I have nothing further before the court. Myself and Mr. Alvarado will be excused.
Both of y'all are excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Yes. So because the 2 remaining cases involve drug court, Mr. Aguirre, the court's going to go ahead and log off of YouTube so that it can be a private matter that we discuss in private, since there's a possibility of some sort of, maybe there's a possibility that they continue on drug court. And for that reason, it needs to be in a private setting off of YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That takes care of the rest of our docket though. So we'll go ahead and log off and then handle those 2 other drug court matters in private.